Welcome to another Joyful Gym with Audrey Joy. A few weeks ago, I talked about my runaway bicycle experience with a 10-speed and how my lack of understanding of that machine had a lot to do with my farm and ranch upbringing. And I think it's safe to say that trends of all kinds are sort of slow to find their way to South Dakota. Sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes it just makes for a good story. In the very late 80s, maybe early 90s, somewhere in that time frame, my parents, my younger brother, and me all met up in Pierce, South Dakota. That's the state capital. And if memory serves, we were there to attend a gubernatorial inauguration. Brother and I decided to go out to a movie the night before. It was a Star Trek movie, and this theater featured something that I had never experienced before: surround sound. And I'm telling you, the first time those spaceships passed in the screen in front of us, I actually ducked, which completely laid my brother out in fits of laughter. When he could speak again, all he could manage was, "You need to get out more." Not too long after this occurred, I met with some additional new technology. I was living in Sioux City, Iowa, and my work often took me to Colorado Springs for trainings and meetings, and that's how I came to fall in love with the environment out here, the weather, the mountains, all of it. The Sioux City airport was pretty small, and it typically required a connecting flight either through Lincoln, Nebraska, or Sioux Falls, South Dakota, to make my way to Colorado Springs and then back home again. Well, on this particular day, it was Sioux Falls. I was on my way home and had a short layover in my home state. And the flight from Sioux Falls to Sioux City was all of 15 minutes. Before getting on the plane, I decided to make use of the facilities. Now, two things of note here. This was back when women still wore pantyhose, and all people still wore business attire to work. I'd left the airport from my training, so I was in pantyhose and a skirt and a jacket, wearing my suit and hose. Well, after doing my business, I stood to get those stinking pantyhose pulled up. It was then, in this most unflattering and compromised position, I heard the sound of the toilet flush behind me. The first thought I had was someone was in the stall with me. I spun around and I flattened myself against the door. Of course, no one was there. But the toilet had most certainly flushed on its own. I studied the stool with a suspicious eye and realized there was no handle with which to flush. There was, however, a blinking red light. Very carefully and cautiously, I ran my hand in front of the red light, and I'll be darned if that toilet didn't flush again. Until that moment in time, I had no idea there was such a thing as self-flushing toilets, let alone experienced one, and that sort of unexpected experience will even give the most stout South Dakota 20-something gal a heart attack. Two other observations about self-flushers. As a society, we've become so accustomed to them that on the rare occasion one comes across a manual flusher, most people don't flush. And the other thing is sometimes those suckers get pretty excited about their job and they flush prematurely. I appreciate their enthusiasm, but it sure seems wasteful to have so many flushes per visit. You know, I really don't have any biblical words of wisdom regarding surround sound or self-flushing toilets. But I will end on this note, though. My brother was probably right. I needed to get out more. If you found value in this gem, share it with a friend and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Joyful Gems with Audrey Joy, or you can follow me on my Facebook page. This is for me. If you're not already a Joyful Gem subscriber, you can change that. Just log into my website, thisisforme.com, or heck, just email me, audreyjoy@thisisforme.com. Be joyful.